Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Wala pa lang nagko-comment.
Yeah, we are. A lot of things
may
to talk
nag-comment
about.
na.
Yeah.
Bruce Lim, hello. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Bruce. Can you clarify, Bruce, your post earlier?
Uncle Al, hello. I don't know what you guys were talking about.
Well, you can check out Bruce's FB page for context.
Okay.
Ready we go? Alan, what's up? Glendale, what's up? Yeah, I gotta explain that, Bruce.
Bruce, the FBI are knocking. You have to explain. Sir, you cannot associate with Diddy's here.
Do you also rap in A minor? Is that the joke?
Yes, that's what he was saying.
Okay.
Ayun.
Yeah, he's explaining the context.
Baka mamaya si Bruce pala card-carrying member ng NAMBLA.
Yep. Well, Ina has a simpler question this time. Good. Hi, Ina. Can we describe All Out? What
True
genre?
crime?
Dodge.
True crime.
Patayan. Ano ba? Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 9. Or kung anong season man yung Battle of the Bastards. Yun. Patayan.
Murder. That's
MDK.
Shannon Sharp.
Oh my God.
Ano meron kay Shannon Sharp? Wait, now I have to Google.
Oh no. Happy ako kay Unc kasi ano pa siya, masigla pa siya.
Naway lahat.
I mean, it could have been worse. Like I said sa Discord namin. It could have been worse. But
Again,
it was...
naway lahat.
Yeah. He's
Now that's
he's he's enjoying his life. So we'll leave it at that. Glendale has another question. Is the establishment that you hate or you would pay with a bunch of coins para lang mang
7-Eleven kasi hindi sila tumatanggap ng GCash minsan.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Which is weird for 7-Eleven. I just found this out the other day too.
Yeah, 7-Eleven is like the most backwards convenience store chain.
Yeah, pero nagka-cash out
in the
sila
country.
minsan sa Maya,
Yeah.
so it's weird.
No. I mean, meron silang kiosks to cash out, but Lawson accepts credit cards. Family Mart accepts credit cards. Some Uncle John's accept credit cards. All of them accept Maya and other banking apps. Si 7-Eleven, GCash lang. Tapos minsan, hindi pa gumagana yung GCash.
Yeah. Nag-i-inconvenience store sometimes. Tapos nakaka-bad trip pa kasi sa province most of the time offline yung mga kiosk. I don't know why.
Dude. Jesus Christ.
Like, God.
I just found this out the other day. But 7-Eleven franchising is actually the lowest in the Philippines.
Pero
Like,
millions pa yun eh. I know you need a
Yeah,
million for that.
I mean, yes, granted. Pero
Why are we talking?
of all the franchises
Ano na pala
where
kami
you can get 7-Eleven sa Philippines,
hustle share na pala kami. Yeah, go Bruce. Magbayad ka ng coins sa BIR. Technically, they're supposed to accept it.
Oh, sabi nga ni Brian Keith, diba? Pay your debts.
Yes.
Tana. Jasper, tana.
Watch
It's
out
time.
Just watch out, people.
I'm the best wrestler in the world.
My name is Colin Cash Money Cannon.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
What do we want to talk about?
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name. He appeared.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov.
It's LA Knight's game. Yeah.
My name is Colin Cash Money Cannon.
She's on me, bitch.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
You have a father, but your father's dead.
G'day everyone, TMDK Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles here.
Move to the
And you're listening.
You're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
That was wild.
You are listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan Ciro, Moran, Emil Nate, and Chino Liao all checking in with a brand new OBB for the show. Give it up for babyface producer Jasper.
Shout out natin si Jasper.
Hey, shout out to Jasper.
May needle drop pa sa gitna eh. What a guy,
Yeah,
what a guy.
Good audio visual goodness coming at you. Thank you so much for enjoying that intro as much as we did. So Jasper's been working hard at that for the last few weeks. Saying what's up as well to our new friend Eman Alejandro, all the way from Austin, Texas. He is the host of the Project Get to Know podcast, or PGTK podcast, which Ro and I guested on sometime last month. Thank you so much for joining us so early in the morning in Austin.
Eman is on YouTube, so you might not see his comments. Pero batiin niyo siya ng ano. Go to YouTube, batiin niyo siya ng Tagalog kasi naghahanap siya ng nakakausap in Tagalog.
So nagigets na yung mga ano natin, yung mga biroan natin, banter natin in Tagalog. All right, we got a lot to talk about this week, but we're going to start with some housekeeping and some reminders as always. So Emil, let them know how they can continue to support the Wrestling Podcast.
You can support the pod in two ways now, and one of them is the old Patreon program that we're having for years now, and you all know the link. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast. Results $5 or 2050 to 2060 pesos locally. Benefits, of course, are included. Discord server, where you can interact with us, talk to us, and just have a great old time down there in the Discord. Sometimes we host some watch parties there of your of the pay-per-views or PLEs that you want.
Watch party natin kanina si Unc.
Uncle Shay.
All right. Also, you get to review content of the weekly wrestling shows, discounts sa mga service fees sa pasabayas, which probably the next one, in a couple of months for Black Friday. By subscribing to our Patreon, you're pretty much supporting the pod. Yeah, so aside from Patreon, another way to support the pod is through Gank. So kung wala kayong credit card, or you want to support the pod in any other way, there's a link right there. Also same benefits. It's ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod. Also same also $5 per month, and there's a parang package, diba? You can get an annual or ano ba yan?
There's 12 months, that's $50 for 12 months, and then 3 months then if you want, it's like $12.
So kung gusto niyo makatipid ng onte and also support the pod, you can also there's some other options as well. So again, Patreon, that's patreon.com/wrestling podcast, and Gank at ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod.
All right, let's talk about Blast TV as always. Di pa natin alam kung hanggang end of the year na lang, but we got to maximize it while we still can.
Yeah, we do not know, but until before Raw moves to Netflix and other classic content moves to Netflix, meron tayong Blast TV, www.blasttv.ph. Raw, NXT, SmackDown is on there if you want to catch up every week, live and on demand as well. Medyo masipag na sila mag-upload every day after the shows. So that's how you get updated. That's how you stay updated. you have any friends asking you, saan pwede manood ng WWE? Sana, hindi na ako updated eh. Gusto ko manood ulit. Ang dami nagsasabi, I believe in Joe Hendry. So this is where you go. This is for free if you are on Converge or Globe at home broadband. It's 179 pesos for everyone else. That's super cheap, super sulit. Ang daming ganap, daming content. Sports is alive and well as well over there. DWNBA also just wrapped. I think did it just wrap?
No. Pasimula. It's still ongoing.
Oh yeah. The NFL is just begun. The regular season has just begun this week. I believe you can catch the games on the Sunday slate on Monday morning Manila time, and a bunch of other stuff. A friend of the podcast, Sir Rick Olivares, also just shared his favorite movies that he just watched on Blast TV. So maraming family-friendly stuff is there as well.
May Tagalog audio na rin yung mga films para wala nang highfalutin words.
God. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Mr. Ovation. I hate that commercial.
Highfalutin words.
Kaya tayo di but oh man.
We watch on Blast TV because we know those commercials.
Yeah, dude. Jesus. The worst execution. I'm sorry. Yeah, so www.blasttv.ph, guys. Go habang wala pang Raw sa Netflix. This is the way.
All right. One last plug if you want to join Ro and Emil on your Saturday mornings.
Yeah, so the Saturday morning SmackDown watch party over on Playback TV was a good hit. So this week is going to be a big week as well because it is the premiere of SmackDown on USA Network. It's going to be a big show. Is it confirmed to be 3 hours?
Hindi pa natin alam.
Oh yeah, but there is a big match. I believe it's Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes, right? For the WWE Championship. We're going to be watching that live. It's on playback.tv/ the Navs Effect. DHENAVSEFFECT. Sorry. It's for free, pero we only have a limited amount of VIP slots to give away to enable people to watch the broadcast with us. But it's a legit way to watch the broadcast. So if you're looking for another way to go watch SmackDown, maybe wala kang Globe at home, wala kang Converge, you want to watch it for free with us, and you want to watch Emil and I yap about the show while it's happening, that's something you would be interested in, go check us out at playback.tv. I'll post a link. I'll post a graphic maybe by tomorrow to drive people to the new place.
Yeah. So may lumabas na balita na 3 hours yung SmackDown this weekend. So yun, 8 to 11 a.m. yung playback viewing party niyo. Have fun.
Kind of fuck.
Saya, breakfast.
I know,
all right. Let's start with some news. We were talking about yung show lengths. Joe Tessitore announced this week on Raw that Raw will be going back to being a 2-hour show starting this October. So, temporary lang yun kasi sabi ni Tito Dave Meltzer, by the time that we hit January 2025, 3 hours na siya ulit. And decision daw ng USA Network to drop the 3rd hour of Raw for the 4th quarter of 2024. So, meron tayong mga additional reports na nababasa ngayon, and it says that the Netflix deal actually makes it convenient for WWE to not be so strict anymore when it comes to meeting a particular runtime. So, pag nasa Netflix na yan, yung Raw, ano na yan, wala ka ng set na duration or running time. Hindi na siya yung saktong 3 hours flat or 2 hours flat. It will be somewhere in between that kasi mas flexible na given the Netflix arrangement. But for the 4th quarter of the year, it'll be back to a 2-hour show just like it was back in the 2000s.
I hope they stay at 2 hours. I think pati the people running Raw, the people in WWE and Triple H, I know for a fact that they didn't really like 3 hours. It just was a thing that helped them make money because a bigger runtime, more ad spots, and it doesn't do anyone good. I've been pushing for 3-hour SmackDowns because I needed the time for them to flesh out their characters or wrestlers. But it's still a lot better, the less time you have and to be more judicious with the time you have.
Yeah. When Raw started being 3 hours, I was never really one for it. Hindi ako sumakay. That's why it's so hard to watch Raw sometimes, especially nung masama siya, diba? Nung hindi siya ganun ka-watchable. Because the 3rd hour really just slogs through. And I grew up watching 2-hour Raws and love the 2-hour Raws. I even remember Raw when no isang oras pa lang siya. So to go from that to triple that, medyo mabigat eh. I do hope they just stick to 2 hours. Feeling ko kaya naman eh kasi most wrestling product out there 2 hours lang din siya, di ba? NXT, your Impacts, your AEWs, wala naman, sila lang talaga yung 3 hours eh. And I think the third hour is almost unnecessary and indulgent to a certain extent na parang dumadating nga sa point na nag-recap na lang sila eh, di ba? So, I rather have a tighter show and have less story time than have this large show every week. Tapos wala naman nangyayari dun sa third hour.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say walang nangyayari sa third hour. And I'd argue that the recaps will be there regardless kung 2-hour or 3-hour show yan. Look at SmackDown.
Yeah, may ano nga sila, yung progressive match flow nga, di ba?
Favorite ni
Kahit 2 hours. Kahit 2 hours lang yung show. Yeah, here's the thing. You want guys to feel old? Hindi ko naabutan yung 2-hour Raw. Nagsimula na ako when Raw was 3 hours. That's why it will be weird for me, honestly. Kasi
ako,
yun nga,
nabutan ko yung 1 hour Raw, Emil eh.
Yun hindi ko nabutan.
Ako rin, hindi ko nabutan yun.
It's not gonna be weird because SmackDown's already 2 hours and Dynamite's already 2 hours.
Yun nga, I've been accustomed all my wrestling life that Raw is always 3 hours. And Raw will always have yung mga mahaba na matches. And dati people are complaining about the 3-hour Raws during Vince's time. But after Triple H took over, I could parang mas paunti yung mga tao complaining about the 3 hours because sulit na sulit yung 3 hours. We were getting 20-minute main events on Raw this past year as compared to SmackDown na usually the main events di umaabot ng 10, 15. So for me, parang nasanay na kasi doon sa 3 hours. So I don't know. And especially with mas malaki naman talaga naturally yung roster ng Raw, diba? Sa draft nga, they are picking 3 times in a round. So, I don't know. It will be weird for me, definitely. But also looking forward to how mas tighter na ngayon, 2 hours lang. Not even 2 hours. Like, the air time is like, if you remove the commercial, it's only 1 hour and 30. Diba? So, that's gonna be a little bit, may mababawasan, I guess. There's gonna be some storylines that are not gonna get the same focus as they were getting when Raw was 3 hours. So, that's a concern, definitely, for me.
Yeah, well, we won't really have to stay on that 2-hour scheme for a long time. Kasi pag nag-move na to Netflix yung Raw by January, it'll be a different setup altogether. So hindi natin alam kung sarado bang 2 hours or 2 hours 15 or 3 or whatever. So nasa WWE na yun to experiment. And until now, di pa rin natin alam kung affected tayo ng Netflix deal. We don't know if Raw will be part of that. Ang alam lang natin is that PLEs will be moving to Netflix by 2025. All right, let's move on and talk about the friendship bracelet that everybody's been talking about. Yung kay CM Punk. So it first appeared on WWEShop earlier this week. You can get it for $9.99. Wala pa dun yung shipping and handling. And then they took it down a day later after some backlash on social media. As of today, it's back. Ito na, ito yung current form niya. Hindi na yung may names nila Larry and AJ. So, I believe nag-comment din yung fan who gave CM Punk the original friendship bracelet. So, ito, in line of that, merong patron question from the Discord from admin Jackie who asks, good move ba to turn this fan-made item into a central storyline and then destroy it and then make replicas of it to sell as merch? And B, to turn it into merch and price it at a premium. So what do you guys think about all of this?
Alam mo kung meron dapat magalit dito sa situation na to? Yung mga Swifties eh. Kasi di ba sa kanila galing tong gimmick na to? Right? Diba? Sa kanila galing tong gimmick na to. And now the WWE is just bandwagoning on it and stealing it and pirating it and adding Chicago stars to it para lang magmukhang wrestling merch, diba? So parang medyo it's a little extreme for me, to be honest. It's a little out. Yan, sama mo na yan dun sa list of items na never ko bibilhin. Yan, yung mga armbands. Yung
si Punk daw yung Taylor Swift for men, diba?
Yun nga eh.
Dahil madramatin siya? Is that why?
Ikaw nagsabi nun.
I will say it though. So
He's polarizing.
oh.
Here's my thoughts about this one. It's a question na was it a good move to turn this bracelet into the storyline? Yun na nga, yun yung that was what I was complaining when nung SummerSlam. Like this was a personal blood feud, and then all of a sudden this all became because this feud just because of a bracelet? Parang sobrang biglang liko naman sila doon. And ever since that, like I said nung after SummerSlam, they were trying everything to justify the SummerSlam finish, which was yung ginawa ni Punk na nakita lang niya na suot ni Seth, he cost himself the match. So they were backed into a corner, definitely. I feel like they needed to justify that. That's why they did all of this. And this a second question, to turn it into a merch. I mean, kung may bibili, why not, di ba? I mean, that's the point of merch. If people are gonna buy it, then good on them. That's more money, I guess, for WWE. Sana lang maambunan yung kung sino yung original na gumawa nun.
Which I doubt is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know Emil was such a capitalist.
Yeah, I was also very surprised by this answer.
No, it was a dick move, I think. No, the girl is right. It was a personal gift from her to Punk. Tapos parang kinommercialize siya after they made it a big deal, right, on TV. And it's like if I were to write Brian Danielson a personal letter about how much he means to me as a wrestler and a wrestling fan. Tapos ginawa siyang plot device. Tapos ginawa siyang, I don't know, binenta rin siya as merch for whatever reason. It's something personal that they turned into a money-making thing. When that kind of move takes away yung spirit ng ginawa niya and ng bracelet. So it's super tone deaf, and I would imagine some male marketing dude in the merch department thought of it and didn't think it was an issue without fully understanding yung point ng friendship bracelet, diba? Okay pa sana yung ginawa nilang plot point. Sige, sure. Even though it didn't really have like significance, like an heirloom piece of jewelry, diba? Sige, pagpilitan natin. Sige, sure. It still signifies Punk's love for his family, right? Sure, sige. But to force it then on everyone who, Chino's right, probably don't even like the idea of friendship bracelets. Parang this might not be the right market for it, but still, it was just a weird move altogether. That kind of shows na walang self-awareness yung nag-isip nito.
Eto, may tanong si Ninong Derv, one of our patrons in the comments. Emil, alam mo ba yung meaning ng biglang liko? Kasi sinabi mo kanina eh. Tingnan natin kung alam mo.
No. I don't get the reference.
4 words, Emil. So clean, so good.
What? Okay, I need some context.
Ito nga yung i-clip mo for next week.
Patrending natin yung naivete mo, Emil.
Baka ma-sponsor pa tayo. Baka may VIP
baka makukuha.
I mean, they have sponsored us. I mean, not us, pero MWF before.
That's true. That's true.
Yan. Hindi ko tatanggihan yan.
Nag-chant pa nga yung mga tao eh. Pucha. All right, let's talk about one last piece of news from outside the ring. Nag-announce si TKO, WWE's parent company, na they would significantly cut live events in 2025. So, specifically, house shows yung pinatutungkulan dito. In the Vince era, WWE would run 300 shows a year, both yung mga live events, house shows, and yung mga televised events like Raw and SmackDown. This year, 2024, nasa mga 250 sila. And by 2025, the target is to keep it to around 200, which is huge.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, definitely huge for both the business and the wrestlers involved, because it means a little bit more time off for the wrestlers, diba? Right? If I watch Johnny Gargano's vlog religiously every Monday, lumalabas yan, and it seems like every Monday yung episode niya, at least 3 airports yung pinapasukan niya just to travel for work. Diba? Because of the demanding schedule that somebody like him has, let alone somebody like Solo Sikoa or Cody Rhodes or anybody else at the top of the card has, diba? Ang lala ng demands ng WWE, Triple H has even gone on the record saying na 360 days a year sila nag-travel. With these new adjustments, my hope is that wrestlers at least have time off to spend with their families, to recuperate a little bit more, and maybe have some semblance of an off season kahit papano, so that they're not just beating themselves nonstop year round.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's nice to have wrestling, yes, in some markets, but a lot of it was just to um, put put more dates schedules the schedule ng mga tao, especially for those who didn't get as much TV time. I totally understand it, but at the same time, it's still more wear and tear on the body. I would very much prefer that you lessen yung physical pain, yung physical tear, and physical wear, pala rather, and pay them more. You have the money. You are charging a lot of money for for tickets, so you might as well pay them more. Run shows where it's guaranteed na mas papatok, mas bebenta yung tickets, and if you really want more live experiences, go run more international shows. WWE can afford it. They will not die. They have so many things keeping them alive.
Yun nga, no, my one concern about this is sana hindi maapektuhan yung mga international tours nila. Like, I still want them to go to Asia. Sana, suddenly the next year they can go back here, or they can continue yung mga Europe tours, which, has proven great for WWE. And, syempre makikita ng mga fans na hindi makakabiyahe sa US to watch their shows. So, siguro, cut back on the US house shows. Yun nga, I think that's where the majority of the shows will be cut off. But
yeah.
yun
Sige,
lang,
Neil,
yun
sabihin
yung
mo sa mga taga Peoria, Illinois or Mobile, Alabama, uy, wala kayong WWE this year, ah.
Di naman, like, it's part of yan eh. It's part of the business. Yun yung concern ko. Like, I wish it doesn't really affect the international tours much, because there's always a chance, diba? And pag nabawasan yung chance na yun, it's gonna be harder for maybe for me who hasn't seen a WWE show to see a WWE show.
To the point about the bumfuck towns like Mobile, Alabama, where Hardcore Holly's from, whatever. Those guys can always make the drive to wherever big city magkakaroon ng show. So talagang hindi naman malaking kawalan yun eh. Diba? If you're already gonna go watch a wrestling show, I'm sure you have a little bit of dough to make the trip.
Yeah, feeling ko naman na ma-maintain nila sa schedule yung international tours. Kasi yun talaga yung moneymaker eh, di ba? I mean, the first W in WWE is literally world. So I don't think the international shows will be going away anytime soon. All right, let's pause for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Raw. And we're going to break down Gunther's trolling of Bret the Hitman Hart right after a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network.
Ay, sorry.
All right, Chino, hindi ko alam kung narinig ko, but you're not on mute, bro. All right, let's talk about Raw and the fact that Gunther has inserted Bret Hart's hatred of Goldberg into WWE canon. Oh boy.
I think he knew. I think he had to know it was coming. I mean, he's so outspoken about it. And syempre, I think pinag-usapan naman nila yan backstage kasi you're not gonna do anything to Bret without his say so. Especially given how outspoken he is and how emotional he is about however he's treated. Diba? So it's good that he was a good sport. I mean, he understood naman that the heel who's coming at him will have to use his real disdain for Bill Goldberg. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, this was kasi every time Gunther comes out, he's still getting cheers, diba? Because everyone respects Gunther. Everyone respects his in-ring ability. So Gunther had to go that low to get boost, and that's what he got. He knew what buttons to push with Bret, and he did it, and it was funny, and he got the response that he wanted, which was to garner boos from the Canadian crowd.
I was surprised that they actually pulled the trigger on that to drop that Bill Goldberg gimmick. Kasi I don't think, hindi ko naman kilala si Gunther personally, no? But I don't think he really is a Bill Goldberg fan. And the fact that he said na Bill Goldberg is his
no
number
way.
one wrestler, that probably
No way.
worked him, diba? That probably
Yeah.
worked him deep down. Na parang, oh, tangina, hindi talaga eh. Bret Hart talaga eh. But he said it just to piss Bret Hart off. Ang ganda din. Also, ang ganda din ng Save the Sami Zayn coming out in the jersey of the late hockey player.
Yeah.
That
Johnny Gaudreau.
There we go. Sorry, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan. But yeah, that late hockey player that unfortunately passed away. So good on Sammy. Class move on his part.
Yeah, full circle moment yun because in 2015 when Sami Zayn answered John Cena's US Open challenge, si Bret Hart mismo yung nag-introduce sa kanya in Canada.
Yeah.
So nice little full circle moment there. All right, staying on Raw here, Adam Pearce made Hell in a Cell official for Bad Blood. So we're getting the third match in the Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk trilogy. And safe to say naman na earned naman siguro yung Hell in a Cell for these two, right?
Somebody will have to refresh me. Did either of them ask for Hell in a Cell?
No, wala.
So why did Adam Pearce decide to make it Hell in a Cell?
Because
He
he has
nagpapatayan na siya eh.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, so what? So why specifically Hell in a Cell? Bakit yun ang naisip niya? No, I asked because there is no storyline hint that, implied that either man wanted to do this inside Hell in a Cell. He also he said that he wanted peace, yes, pero could have done that in a cage match, could have done that in a last man standing match, could have done that in I Quit. Why specifically Hell in a Cell? Parang nakulangan ako dun because random, yes, but also because it's October and historically that has been Hell in a Cell month for the past decade or so. But I need things to make sense, and this is lacking in the make sense department.
That's actually a good point. Kasi yun nga, we just assume na it's Bad Blood, so it's Hell in a Cell.
Yun nga eh, di ba?
That's a good point.
Sana either guy, like Drew McIntyre said, I want to kill CM Punk for good. So I want to destroy him inside Hell in a Cell. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but just, just ask for it. Right? Make it make sense. Why is Hell in a Cell the top of mind for Adam Pearce?
Wala, buisit na siya.
Granted, yes, that does make sense. Pero for me, the fact that it is happening in Bad Blood and the fact na nagpapatayan na sila. I mean, we even made the assumption na baka nga Hell in a Cell tong match na to, di ba? So,
no, sure. I just needed the thread. I just needed for them to thread it properly sa story.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so kahit just one line from either Punk or Drew na I want Punk or Drew inside Hell in a Cell. Kahit ganun lang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair,
right.
but also they have like 2 weeks to actually say it now. So baka Ross, they might, retroact on the logic here. Malay natin.
Yeah, Ro, you wanted to respond to yung comment ni Doc.
Glendale.
No. He said crazy that they should have said that they're taking each other to hell. I think they somebody should have said that out loud para na ma-justify. Naman.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do that like in a promo in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, may 2 weeks pa naman before Bad Blood, which again has an earlier start time than your normal US-based PLE.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah, so
6
sa
a.m.
mga humihingi dyan ng viewing party for Bad Blood, tandaan nyo muna, 6 a.m. Manila time ang start time ng Bad Blood.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is seriously considering it. I mean, there are a few, but I haven't received any overwhelming demand.
All right. NXT is going big for the CW debut in October. So big that Bianca and Jade are going to be part of it. CM Punk and Randy Orton are going to be part of it. Freaking Tyrese Halliburton will be a part of this as well. I'm sure he has no idea what Fraxium is, but he tweeted about Fraxium. So, Tyrese Halliburton. Do you really think the Olympic gold medalist and all-star Tyrese Halliburton has time to watch NXT and know about Fraxium specifically?
Well, he accepted the job of tweeting for it.
Sino kayang Chicago Bulls player yung lalabas to confront Tyrese Halliburton this time?
Si Josh Giddey, pare. And it's gonna be A minor.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Not Josh Giddey.
Yeah, a Pacer in Chicago, that's gonna draw so much heat, I think.
Will it though?
I mean, they are rivals from
Nung 90s,
the 90s.
yes, but it's not like
It's like a 30-year-old. It's like a 30-year-old rivalry. I mean, hindi ka pa yata puway. Rival sila.
So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty huge premiere on the CW. With them just pulling out all the stops here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's huge for them to land Tyrese Halliburton. Naalala ko yung video ni Tyrese Halliburton popping when he saw Booker T. Diba? That's a tunnel during the one Pacers game, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But during one NBA game, nakita si Booker T, just like pop siya. So he really is a wrestling fan. Whether or not he actually knows who Fraxium is another question entirely. But I'm pretty sure may kilala naman siya dyan sa current roster kahit paano. So it's a huge deal for them to have somebody like Tyrese Halliburton, a young, active NBA player na walang kulay yung buhok and hindi controversial to participate in the game. That is a Dennis Rodman reference right there, in case you missed it. But yeah, huge for everybody involved. They really are trying to make NXT a bigger deal here with the current roster that they have. Exciting for me right now yung tag team division and yung NXT championship, especially after that last man standing match, the previous NXT. So yeah, very excited for this.
Yeah. It was fun. I think Shepard, you gotta make it big, but I don't know if that's gonna be like the coming out party of it's still NXT, right? Like, yes, you have a few big stars, but it's still developmental at the end of the day. Like, some people are still against the idea of televising developmental. But hey, good on the CW for taking on NXT. So good luck na lang sa kanila.
Yeah. All right, we'll take another break and we'll talk more NXT, and we'll also talk about Jey Uso's big win on Monday Night Raw right after this quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, Jey Uso won the Fatal 4-Way to determine Braun Breaker's next challenger dun sa main event ng Monday Night Raw. So, what do you think about Jay's chances here? Can he actually win a singles title now?
Regarding to Rikishi, but I don't think it's the time yet. Again, Triple H is still the long reigns kind of person, and then Gunther, Braun Breaker, who is another one of those guys that he loves to protect, right? which Shawn Michaels also protected down in NXT. So I don't see it being a thing. Rikishi's gonna stay mad, but it is what it is. They have plans in place, and unless they're gonna swerve us with something, I don't see them. I don't see Jay winning any singles title anytime soon. Lalo na you have two protected heels as the top singles champions on Raw.
Ito
Yun
maganda
nga
yung
eh.
sinabi maganda yung
Go,
sinabi ni
Chin.
Albert Manuel. Sorry, I mean, let me jump in here. Kasi sabi ni Albert Manuel on our comments, bloodline interference again. Which makes sense kasi October is just right before November and we have War Games to look forward to. And kung tutuloy nila yung Bloodline Civil War na gusto nilang gawin, might be the perfect time or the right time to start introducing the elements that bring the Usos and Roman Reigns back together again. Kasi yun na din yung ending dun eh, di ba? So, it's for the War Games at least. So, that might be an interesting way to spin it. I agree that unfortunately, this is not Jey Uso's moment just yet. The main event was good. I really liked it. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a very protected Braun Breaker here. And I think tama si Rowan, he says Triple H is a long reign kind of guy. So, dito pa lang, makikita nyo na maybe lamado si Jey Uso dito.
Yeah, I will agree. Jey Uso naman is in a good spot na no matter like they will give him wins, but they will never hand him any singles championship. But he's credible enough to challenge for any championship. So he's in a good spot right now. And yun nga, may nakaambang na feud for him, which is the Bloodline Civil War. So he's just, I don't know, he's just waiting or biding his time before they can get to that. And I wish they could, dito sa rivalry na to, they could start integrating, maybe have the Bloodline interfere nga, like, you know, the Bloodline has already appeared in NXT, di ba? The episode yesterday. So it's not far-fetched for them to cross over to Raw and start this whole, you know, Bloodline Civil War with them attacking Jay.
Yeah. Tawag dito, yung War Games is what, 2 months away. This match is actually 2 weeks away. It's not likely to be on Bad Blood then. So, for those of you who are fantasy booking, diba, trying to predict kung big moment naman ni Jey Uso, maybe that might influence your fantasy booking scenarios. All right, let's hop on back to NXT and talk about Julia and her in-ring debut. So, did it meet expectations? Are you on the Julia hype train after seeing her first match against Chelsea Green?
It's tough to rate talaga when somebody crosses over from Japan. It's not the same. You are hired on the strength of your work as a Joshi wrestler in Japan. Then you have to come over and then make it safer for the American girls, for the people in the PC. And as if you're a fan of these people before they come over to NXT, magmumukha kang tanga kasi minsan eh. Kasi more often than not, unless you're like a Nakamura debuting against Sami Zayn, you're not gonna get to the same quality of your wrestling in Japan. So it's tough to really rate this, and it medyo insidious siya to talk about this as Julia's first match in WWE. So if you don't know, it's hard to be converted off of this performance alone. But if you know na syempre, you know, Juda's capable of better, and then if she gets paired with someone else, she's gonna do much better. But this is Chelsea Green as well. Like Chelsea's okay, pero syempre hindi naman siya super Joshi experienced wrestler, diba? So it depends on what you know about Julia and how open you are right now. So I don't think you should take this performance as the barometer for whether or not you should jump on her bandwagon.
Yeah.
This was sige.
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Now this was a good first performance for her. Pero yun nga, like I compared it to yung mga debuts ng mga other Japanese Joshis who went on to NXT, and their first matches wasn't as memorable either. So Julian in the comments has a point. It's gonna take time for her to get adjusted. That's why she's in NXT, diba? And she's there to get 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 accustomed to how they do things. And you might not like it at first, but she's gonna get there. She's too talented to not be as good as she was in her time in Japan. So it's gonna take time, but I'm sure she's gonna get there.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's interesting kasi si Julia, I've been watching a lot of Julia matches as the build up to this main one. So yung mga nasa YouTube. Her match against Willow was very good. And compare mo yon dito, malayo talaga yung quality. Right? Chelsea Green is no slouch herself. She does have some Joshi background in her. She has some wrestling in Japan background. So kahit paano, dun sa mga pwede niyang i-put over, Chelsea might be the top tier choice here. Pero at the same time, it was less than 10 minutes long eh. Diba? Ang bilis lang niya. So it's really, you're not after a takeover performance from her just yet. Diba? We're still waiting for that and building to that. Hopefully next week when NXT debuts on the CW. But until then, it was. I feel like it was enough of teaser. Like there were morsels there, but at the same time, kung sarado na talaga yung isip mo to all these Joshis and all foreign wrestlers coming into NXT, mahirap na talagang mag-convert off of this one performance.
Yeah, I actually like how Julia's being presented sa NXT. For one, we know that she's been taking English lessons. That's one of the reasons why napaaga yung pagpunta niya sa US, diba? Pero hindi pa siya nagde-debut until this month. So she's actually been taking English lessons for quite some time. And you can see it, diba? Na kaya niya ng mag-backstage segment in English at least. Like Funaki was there to serve as a translator, but she's like, oh, I got this. So that's pretty cool. And I enjoyed that match actually, Julia versus Chelsea Green. I'm considering it as my pick of the week just because maganda siyang patikim sa in-ring style ni Julia, even though it's not exactly what she was doing when she was in Stardom, diba? So yeah, fun stuff. And I can't wait to see more. Syempre, nakakahype pa rin yung Julia versus Roxanne Perez match, and anything less than Julia getting rocket strapped, I think would be pretty shocking. Staying on NXT here, Eto Chino, let me ask you, what did you think of Hammerstone making his NXT debut as Tony D'Angelo's hired muscle?
Oh, I loved it. Meat on meat. Big meaty man on a Wednesday morning. God bless si Santino and si Ava and si Tony D na din. Diba? For putting together a meat on meat action on a Wednesday because my God, so surprising. Naliit ako Hammerstone honestly. When you put it side by side against Obafemi, Hammerstone is not a small guy by any proportion.
He's short though. He's not tall.
Pero batak pa yun siya diba?
Yeah,
Like
sure,
you see,
sure.
if you put him against Josh Alexander, maliit si Josh Alexander. Right? So Hammerstone against Obafemi.
Dude, Hammerstone is 6'4", isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty tall. Hindi naman siya maliit. Hindi naman siya maliit.
Sorry.
So he's a huge dude. Diba? You put him against Obafemi, ang liit niya tignan. So,
he's lean. He's also lean now. Wala siya masyadong body fat.
Si Hammerstone, you mean?
Yeah, si Hammerstone.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I still liked it. Medyo na-squash si Hammerstone dito. Although, I will say, Hammerstone in his TNA run really hasn't proven anything just yet. Natalo din si Josh Alexander and that's about it. So, I would love to see him on the NXT side of things to really put more miles on him on this side of the line, kumbaga. So I liked it. I liked the match, and I liked how impressive both guys look.
Mm-hmm. Sige, go, Ro.
Julian rather is correct. He is a very WWE guy. It has taken him a long time to get to WWE. Parang the stars weren't aligning for him to get to the company, but he finally made it. And I don't know what his ceiling is just yet, but I don't think he's a bad pickup as well. I hope that he gets to live out his dreams for WWE.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I mean, this is my first time, I guess, of seeing Hammerstone in a ring, and I do like how this partnership, hindi lang yung mga major stars yung nagko-crossover. We're also starting to see now people like Rosemary, Hammerstone, so
Rosemary, hindi Rosemary.
Rosemary, sorry.
Rosemary Tan. Ginawa mo si Rosemary.
Sorry. Sorry. But yeah, we're starting to see talaga more TNA superstars crossing over. And and I wish it could continue. We'll get to see more people in NXT down the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tama din si Jeff Gonzalez here who said na Hammerstone does resemble a very buff Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee is not patpatin by any means, right? So yeah. Okay, let's take another break here and we'll talk about AEW naman. Marami tayong pag-uusapan from the fallout from All Out right after this message from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about AEW. And we're going to start with Jon Moxley and Pac. Sila yung mga nagsalita. They were the ones who attacked Bryan Danielson. And now they're also going after Darby Allin. And very good actually yung execution ng AEW with them starting with this video package from Mox right after the attack at All Out. Inexplain niya why he did what he did. And if you had to drill it down to something very simple, he basically said na he didn't like the new way. He doesn't like the diplomacy and how Bryan conducted his business. He doesn't like how the people in AEW were feeling entitled. So he's angry and he wants to let his anger do the talking. So it really gave angry boomer vibes nung pinapanood ko yung rant niya. Then when Pac got on the mic, ganun din. He echoed what Mox was saying, right? And then tinahi nila yung pag-call out ni Mox kay Darby Allin 2 weeks ago, because apparently Darby Allin had this guaranteed world championship match at Arthur Ashe, which I'd forgotten about. And apparently Jon Moxley wanted it, which is why he'd been coming after Darby Allin from the time he returned.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I wish that they made it make sense sooner. Pero okay, sige. Sige, let's go for the Darby thing. Okay, apparently it all makes sense now after 2 weeks of being mysterious, and then he still hasn't explained really the why it's not his company anymore. Diba? So I like that this was the feud. I mean, remember again, if you didn't listen to the previous episodes, Blackpool Combat Club was formed after Bryan and Mox were feuding. So it all makes sense then. It all came full circle back to them. So do I want Mox to be the guy to take off the championship from Bryan? Yeah, I think so after this. I think it's a nice move to do that maybe by the end of the year. So I think this is a nice way to set it up. I think it's a nice way then to kind of revitalize the Blackpool Combat Club. If it is still going to be the Blackpool Combat Club after this, I think Pac at least made new friends as well. So interesting then. I just wish that Wheeler Yuta was somewhere to be found here.
Yeah. No, inexplain nila na Wheeler Yuta was standing to Bryan.
Okay. Sorry, I must have missed that.
All right.
Sorry. Mas natawa ako kay Nigel McGuinness eh. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
Let's put up the Nigel McGuinness graphic, because this is also happening at Arthur Ashe Dynamite Grand Slam. Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness.
Sorry,
for some
jumping
reason,
ahead here.
Yeah, Nigel McGuinness had all of this urgency to get the Tony Khan in the middle of Dynamite and pitch the match. He got the match and he announced it himself and he's all angry. Sinabi pa niya Oasis pa yung magper-perform ng entrance niya. So we're getting this. It's a match that hasn't happened in 15 years or something?
Yeah, it was their last Ring of Honor match. So, talagang it, and Nigel wasn't able to go to WWE because he was diagnosed to have, he was found to have HEPA. So, hindi talaga siya natuloy at all. So,
Yeah,
I
and then
don't
tsaka
think,
umamin siya na he had like a shoulder injury or an arm
yeah, yeah,
injury, whereas si Brian, he lied.
yeah. Parang he lied about a neck injury, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is like the highest in the priority of wrestling fans, but it is still a nice thing because I think there's a lot of history to draw on. I just think they will need to establish Nigel heading into that match because if people don't, there are people, legit wrestlers in the AEW locker room who didn't know he could ball. They just thought for this whole time he was just a commentator. So they will have to do some work on that one.
Ako medyo na-surprise lang ako na biglang may side quest siya bigla eh. Na he
Lagi
suddenly
naman may ganyan eh.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I get it that there's history there, but like ako personally, I only know Nigel as the announcer. I wasn't that keen on him as a wrestler. Wala ako napanood na match niya as a wrestler, di ba? And yes, I guess shortcoming ko as a fan yun. But then as a current fan and as a current watcher of the product, parang nung nag-announce si Nigel na he's suddenly going to compete with Brian for the championship, it was just very sudden to me because there was really nothing else to fall back on. No backbone to the story other than the established history that was previously stated. So I would have much rather see it build up to this instead of suddenly having this when the overarching story that we all know is Brian and Mox here. So parang medyo nabigla lang ako na may epal dito. So parang okay, fine. That's fine. That's cool, right? But like why? Is my question.
I feel like they are trying to get this match out of the way before they could go back to Moxley because I feel like I will agree with Will. It's gonna be Mox who's gonna take the title away from Ryan. So
I think
habang they can still do the match because a lot of people are I believe a lot of people are clamoring for this match because most of them were like saw the matches that they had all those years ago and they want to see it again. I want to see it again. Di pa ako wrestling fan when they had those series of matches, so I kind of want to see it. I'm excited for it, and I like how Nigel explained in that promo na he's better, na Brian got the things that he's supposed to get. So I watched kasi yung documentary ni Nigel on the WWE Network, so I kind of understand the history there. Yun nga, I wish they could have explained it a little bit further, but a lot of people, most of the fans who know these two, alam naman yung history, but sakit na yun ng AEW eh. But I feel like medyo minadali because they're trying to get this match out of the way.
I think they're speed running a lot of dream matches for Brian kasi I think he's about to end it soon. And my guess, my theory is that he only has until the end of the year, this year specifically, to wrap up his full-time career. So if not Mox at Arthur Ashe, somebody by World's End siguro.
Yeah, and I guess you can rationalize in kayfabe na parang alam ni Nigel na Mox will kill you, so let me get to you before Mox kills you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't like that I had to connect those dots myself, but I understood it. Diba?
Yep.
Emil, did you have thoughts on yung explanation ni Mox and Pac?
Oh yeah, it's very nakapanibago yung character ni Mox ngayon. Like we have seen him as a heel before, but not as this one. Sobrang kalmado niya, but he has an agenda, and his agenda is very clear. So I'm definitely interested as to how is this the new Blackpool Combat Club gonna go. But definitely, I really wish that they could have come up with all of this at the beginning pa lang. Hindi yung he was so mysterious for the first few weeks. They could have set their agenda right then and there when he came back and went on from there. But instead, we got 2 weeks of him prancing around, asking for where Darby Allin is and asking and saying, "Oh, this isn't your company anymore." That was weird. That was really weird.
I mean, we still know na this isn't our company anymore or whoever's company it is, diba? So they've still been saying it for the last 3 weeks. Di pa rin natin alam what they actually mean here. So I don't know. All right, more AEW stuff here. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are the new number one contenders for the World Tag Team Championship. So they won the Casino Gauntlet match. And apparently this whole Will Ospreay being undefeated in Casino Gauntlet matches is a thing.
I don't think anyone asked for it to be a thing, but I guess it's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Young Bucks haven't shown any signs of stopping yet, despite reportedly working limited dates. Parang di pa rin sila nagpapatalo. I don't know. I think the heat from this entire championship run has dissipated as well. I don't think giving it to United Empire is the move as well. Like I don't see how it makes sense. I have a feeling Kyle's turning on Will, but that's about it. I don't know. That's that's the bigger story, I think, coming from this match.
I think first of all, kung mangyari man yung Will Ospreay Fletcher as new AEW Tag Team Champions, did anybody really ask for Ospreay to be double champion so quickly?
Yun nga eh.
I didn't ask for it. So hindi ko alam kung sino yung nag-request, di ba? Kung sino nakaisip nito. Because I certainly didn't want him to win. I don't think he needed to win, di ba? And to take away a spot from an actual active tag team like yung mga tag team sumali, like the Acclaim, di ba? And FTR and
Then the Outrunners.
The Outrunners.
Yeah, I love the Outrunners.
Yeah, love the Outrunners. So anyway, side story. But see, Ospreay and Fletcher winning is just very surprising and unexpected, and frankly quite unwanted. But I feel like kung mapunta man sa kanila yung title, sana hindi. If they end up winning the titles at Grand Slam, they might actually bring the titles all the way to Wrestle Dream, diba? Which is the big Japanese pay-per-view that's happening next year. So malay natin.
Talking TK is definitely sinusulit niya yung bayad niya kay Ospreay by having him challenge for every title that there is. He has challenged for the world title, he was international title, and now he has him going after the tag titles. This is a setup for something, definitely. I don't see the Bucks losing the titles anytime soon, but they teased it earlier. They teased the tension within the Don Callis family. Takeshita is not cool with Ospreay, and Don Callis parang pinipilit na lang niya si Ospreay to team with them, and he's good with Fletcher, but with Callis and Takeshita, he's not. So I'm sensing something here. Someone is gonna turn, and that turn will happen come Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm. All right, shenanigans. Correct ko lang si Chino. It's Wrestle Dynasty, yung big pay-per-view in Japan.
Sorry,
Wrestle Dream
Dynasty
is in Tacoma. That's next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that is still happening.
Yeah.
All right. Last bit here about AEW. Let's talk about the ultimate isaksak mo sa baga move, move that Orange Cassidy did to Chris Jericho. I love this. Tawa-tawa ko na. He had KOR and Mark Briscoe operating a freaking forklift na puro barya. Tapos pinauna na ng barya yung Bentley ni Chris Jericho. Good stuff. I wish I could do something like this.
People like to hate on Chris Jericho segments now, but they're still pretty entertaining. Like I can't front. I still enjoy watching, not necessarily wrestling, Chris Jericho wrestling, but the stories that he would get into, like this shit. It's still pretty entertaining.
I mean, you guys have to understand, si Jericho is a product of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Nandun siya nung spray ni Kurt Angle yung ring ng gatas, di ba? So this is very close to that. Di ba? Yung level of kagaguhan na yun, it's very close to this. So to me, it was funny. As a fan of that era of wrestling, this to me was very entertaining. So I was very much amused by the whole change. And yung nasaya ako dun sa kotse. But I mean, wrestling is wrestling, di ba? So,
at least may pambayad siya sa parking, di ba?
Yeah.
Sawa ka sa mga barya.
I can't wrap my head around the logistics of carrying $7,000 in pennies in a forklift. How does that even
Can you
happen?
even do that in a bank? Like change?
You can ask for it in a bank, I guess, but I know there is a law against
May limit
using.
yan eh. I don't
No,
think
No, no,
any
no. Okay,
bank.
okay. So my mom works in a
yeah,
bank, and I've actually asked her this kasi I did want to fuck with people like this. So parang you want me to pay? Babayaran ka na tigbe 25, 'di ba? So I did ask her. Sabi niya pwede pero mabuburat sa yung bangko kasi mahahassle sila.
Okay, got it.
No, you can withdraw the amount in pennies in change, pero I think there is a law or some sort of regulation against using it to pay uh that big amount. So ewan. I don't
I
know.
guess, 'di ba? I would like to see someone or I'd like to hear about
Ador,
someone
alam mo
trying.
na. Let's go. Let's go.
No. Okay. Without bringing anyone's personal beef into this, no? Let's say bibili ka ng appliance, bibili ka ng bagong ref or bagong TV. Try mo magbayad na puro barya. Tingnan natin kung paano mo i-arrange at ano yung sasabihin nung appliance store.
To be fair, I did deposit around 2,000 pesos worth of coins to the bank last year.
And how did they
accept-
react?
Okay lang naman. Kasi inorganize ko naman siya. Hindi naman siya parang ganyan. Hindi ko naman siya finorklift. Hindi ko naman siya.
Tsaka may coin
siya.
counters na, guys.
Alam ko may coin counters eh.
Yeah, may coin counters na. Hindi naman and then thank you. But there's also technology now, guys. Hindi naman, wala namang teller na bibilang yan isa-isa.
You're supposed to make it easier for the teller by wrapping up the coins and at least labeling how many of, the amount.
Oh.
Well, si Arian, my wife, has a big-ass alkansya in our dining table na puro barya, puno-puno siya. So I dread having to open that pag napuno na. So I'd like to know where those coin counting machines are.
No, meron sa Gali, meron sa MOA. It's specifically from not the BIR, the Bangko Sentral.
BSP.
Yeah.
Yeah, yun sila. They will need the coins actually kasi diba? They'll need to make sure na lagi may circulation ng barya. Look at us talking about freaking circulation all because of wrestling.
Thanks, Orange.
And Orange.
So yeah. Eto, the next time na may nangungulit sa inyo kasi may utang ka raw sa kanila, yan, bayaran mo na puro 25, di ba? Tingnan natin ano yung magiging reaction nila. Say what's up to Jerome. Thank you so much for keeping us with you while you're stuck in traffic. Hope that the podcast and the live stream are keeping you sane, man. All right, we got to wind down here since it's the top of the hour. So, Chino, let the people know what's going on in the comedy circuit.
Yes, a few things. I actually guested on 2 episodes of Machong Chismisan that won't be dropping for quite some time, but stay on the lookout for it. Siyempre kasama ko si Makoy Pare, friend of the podcast, who also celebrated his 10th year anniversary.
Kabatch natin yan.
Yes, kabatch natin yan sa podcasting. So, if you guys want your comedy podcast fix, just look out for those episodes. Also, a very special show announcement. Our open mic is moving to a place a lot of wrestling fans are familiar with and listeners of the podcast are familiar with. We are moving to Hobby Stadium. That is every Tuesday night starting this Tuesday, September 17th. Show starts at 8:30 for 200 pesos. You can see the best and up-and-coming comedians work on their stuff for future shows, for shows that are in bigger venues. So dito, may early teaser access ka na, an insider look into the comedy process every Tuesday night at Hobby Stadium, 3rd floor, Jafani Building, Doña Hamadi Street, Quezon City. You can also check out comedymanila.ph for all the future comedy shows and follow me on social media at Chino Supersized.
There's a big sign on Hobby Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, the best part about that is pwede magdala ng belt sa Hobby Stadium.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Pwede kayo magdala ng belt sa comedy show. Sige, pwede. Why not?
Sure. All right, Ro, what do you have going on?
Not sure yet if we're gonna have a unmasked episode next week. Not tomorrow. Sorry, life has been busy. But yes, Decada Video on Demand is coming soon. We did the watch party for it last Sunday. It is a fine product of video. We cannot wait for you guys to see it. I pull double duty, so I am really hyping this one up for you guys. So stay tuned lang sa DexCon and Helix Pay to find out where to get it ahead of, I guess it's eventual TV airing. I don't know what hindi pa yung confirmed, but I'm sure it's gonna happen soon. That's it for now. Please follow Unmasked as well on Spotify and Apple Podcasts only. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Puso Wrestling happening on September 21. Para iba naman yung tatandaan natin on that date. So come watch. It's Brawl Pit Bulusan. You can still get your tickets whether at the venue itself or on Helix Pay. So please go support your favorite wrestling promotions. You don't have to just watch your friends. You can watch whatever promotion you want. Puso Wrestling being one of them. September 21, 6 p.m. sa Brawl Pit Bulusan. All right. Now steaming. New episodes every Monday at 9 a.m. This week, we talked to Reynard Hing of Kaisa Para sa Kaunlaran to talk about yung discrimination within the Chinoy community among ourselves. We're so racist, we discriminate on ourselves. That's this week's topic. And then next week, we've got Valerie Tan, the Lifestyle TV host, joining us as well to talk about misogyny in the Chinoy household. So, yung latest episodes namin. And finally, go watch the PBA if you can. Nasa Smart Araneta Coliseum tayo bukas. For the doubleheader, I will be the hype man for those games. I believe San Miguel, Phoenix, Rain or Shine, and Blackwater or Ginebra, one of those, 4 of those 5 teams will be playing tomorrow. So hindi ko kabisado yung games. But there. For the show though, if you want to get in touch with us, it is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. Everywhere else, it is at Wrestling Podcast. And individually, it's at Rose War, at Chino Supersize, at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, and at _Stan C. Next week on your feeds, we'll be dropping some episodes reminiscing over WWE Live in Manila, which celebrated its 8th anniversary this week. And we can confirm that we are talking to one of the pillars of women's wrestling here in the Philippines right now, Super P of Puso Wrestling. She will be joining us in a few minutes, actually. So we'll talk to her and we'll drop that episode sometime early next week. Thank you very much to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of your help behind the scenes. And thank you for catching another episode of the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast, especially Jerome, who's apparently out sea.
Wow, insane. That's fucking insane.
Well, thank you, man. Wow.
For real?
First.
For real?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's in the comments, dude.
Wow.
Check it out.
He said
Nasa
nasa Pacific Ocean.
Kala ko sabi niya sa traffic lang siya.
No.
He said the Pacific
traffic in the
Ocean.
sea.
Oh my
Pacific
God.
Ocean daw siya. Wow.
Yeah.
May Wi-Fi sa
sir.
baro. Guys, legit.
Wow. Thank you.
Sir.
Radyo di mo masasagap. Kami, oo. All right, we got to get out of here. For Emil Nate, Chino Liao, Romaran, and Rowan ASH, I'm Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. Later, Outcasts.
Peace.
Bye, guys.